It's like this dude has a horseshoe stuck in his ass, a lucky horseshoe, man. How the hell are you worth millions of dollars? You're a professional athlete. You're a co-owner of a team with Michael Jordan, and you damn win some Powerball money, man. Come on, man. This shit shouldn't happen. It honestly just shouldn't happen, but it did. So I gotta give Denny a little bit of hell, but that's why he's on the cold list, man. What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here, Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbing and Grubbing. Rubbing is racing, grubbing is tasting. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I know I am. Hey, if you're out and about looking for somewhere to be, come up here to Coach's Corner, man. It's a great place. Good food, good drinks, man. So if you're new to tuning in, the way we like to start it out is what we call the word of the day. So every time this word pops up, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I have no idea what the word is, but I do like to say it's age appropriate. So if you're under 21, get some Kool-Aid, some sweet tea, energy drink, get cranked up on a Wednesday. So last week's word was RCR. Sure, I said that probably quite a few times talking about Kyle Busch's win. Today, the word is going to be, I have no idea, but every time I say it, take a sip of that beverage, man. So getting right into that NASCAR news, hey, William the Kid Byron, man, comes home victorious there at Las Vegas. We're going to touch a little bit more on this in a recap. But hey, 24, man, 24, getting it done early in the season. Got a good shot at locking himself into those playoffs, and obviously could be a threat, man. Kid's got some talent, so we'll have to see what he does. Hey, the biggest news already been talked about. I'm sure anybody keeps up with NASCAR knows it. Chase the Bulldog Elliott expected to miss about 6 weeks, y'all. So I'm upset. I'm still going to represent. I'm still going to wear my gear. Hey, man, a lot of folks are upset at the fact he broke his leg basically snowboarding, having some leisure time down. People don't understand, man. I know you're under contract. You're a major, sport star. You're signed up. You got to make money. You can't let your team down in a way. But look, these people are human too, man. They want to go have some fun. So anyway, he's going to miss about 6 weeks. Hey, we've seen it happen before with a guy named Kyle Busch. Missed around 5-6 weeks, come back, and I think he won 3 out of 4 races and a championship in 15. So can be done, man. But until he comes back, we got Josh Berry filling in this week at the Oval Tracks. And let's see, Jordan Taylor is going to be filling in at Circuit City of America. He's kind of a road course specialist, races in the IMSA series. I think he races a vet in that. Pretty talented guy, so we'll see if they can get it done and make Chase and that 9 team and Mr. Hendrick proud for sure. So Joey Logano back to crying in the old ways, crybaby Joey talking about getting fenced by Brad Keselowski there at Las Vegas. Look, man, it's as simple as this. He held his line. All you got to do is lift, man. Just lift. Just quit your bitching and crying, man. Quit your bitching and crying for sure. Boom. Swear bucket. Interview, like I said, Keselowski after the race kind of talking about it. Not so much on the Fox broadcast, but there was another interview where he said he got fenced, man. And look, if you go back and watch it, Keselowski held his line, racing Kyle Busch on the inside side-by-side. I don't know where Joey was trying to go, but he wasn't going to fit there either way, and Keselowski doesn't know him anything. So you don't own the racetrack, you don't own the spot, you got to quit crying about it, man. Ross Chastain was at Martinsville today, man. Some more big news here. Pretty cool. Martinsville invited him over. They removed the section of the wall from the infamous and famous Hail Melon, right? So that's going to be locked down. I'm pretty sure it's going in the NASCAR Hall of Fame or a Racing Hall of Fame somewhere, maybe at the track at Martinsville or something. Anyways, they're holding on for that piece of history. As we all know, NASCAR changed the rules coming into the season. They deemed that an illegal move. They're the ones that kind of make the judgment call on it, but basically that move's illegal now. So that was the one and only time I think you're really going to see that. And if you ask him, he probably would say he wouldn't do it again. I mean, I'm sure that was a rough ride. But, yeah, pretty cool there for Ross Chastain, Watermelon Man. So do want to give a big shout out, man. If you guys haven't yet, go out, like, share, follow, all that social media. Definitely make sure you go subscribe to that YouTube channel. I think Lawrence said we're 13 subscribers away or 14 subscribers away from giving away the helmet. We're not far, so make sure you're there. As soon as we hit 250, the autographed Kyle Larson replica helmet goes to somebody. One of those 250 subscribers is going to get that helmet. Like I said, if you're new to it, make sure you go on that video tonight or whichever one you're watching, hashtag Larson, subscribe to that channel, and get in the drawing for it, man. Get in the running for it. 1 in 250 shot, and you get that nice, cool piece of memorabilia there. So definitely make sure you do that. So Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell had a few words after the race there at Las Vegas. Nobody really kind of knows what it's about. I think you can kind of tell by the body language that both of them were a little bit upset with the way that I think they raced each other there at the end, side by side. But let's be honest, fellas, if the caution didn't come out, you probably wouldn't have got those finishes anyways. I think they just kind of agreed to disagree. It wasn't hectic. wasn't like Bubba and Larson last year or other guys on pit road we've seen after races. They kind of patted each other on the way off. But I think they just kind of agreed to disagree, and that happens in NASCAR. So. We'll see if anything else kind of evolves from it, if they go back to having a little bit of a rivalry out there or anything grows from it, but I doubt it. But at the end of the day, let's be honest, man, Christopher Bell has a huge amount of talent. Bubba Wallace is starting to figure it out and get there. We'll see what happens, but I'd take Christopher Bell on the racetrack all day long. Spire Motorsports, man, is going to field a car with Carson Hocevar is going to drive it in the Xfinity Series, which is pretty neat. Carson's a young driver in the Truck Series, if you don't know. I think he races for Nice Motorsports in the trucks. I don't think he's won a race yet. He's been very close, man, and he's due. It's going to happen for him. He's a huge talent. I think Xfinity, taking that step up will get his feet wet and show him what it takes to make that next step up from the trucks to Xfinity. And like I said, very young, talented kid. So we'll see how good he can do, how good he'll run that car. But at the end of the day, he is getting some seat time at that next level, which always pays dividends. So good job and big shout out to Carson Hocevar for sure. So Kimi's coming back, man. The Formula One champion. Kimi Räikkönen's coming back to run that Project 91 Trackhouse car at Circuits of the Americas this year. We'll see what he can get done. He didn't have the best showing in his last showing. I say it all the time. If you're from a different discipline of racing, especially Formula One, IndyCar, anything that's got some input steering and some traction control and all this and that, getting into one of these Cup cars is a totally different night and day thing. So didn't do bad, didn't tear it up too bad. We'll see what he can do. Like I say, a top 20 for him is a win. If he finishes inside that top 20, I mean, that's a win for the seat time that he gets doing the one-off or 2 races a year, whatever he does. It's a win. So we'll see. There again, probably going to have some new eyes, different fan base watching the sport as we did last season, which is always a plus for NASCAR. So I think it's a good deal what Trackhouse and Justin Marks has going on over there, getting these different disciplined drivers to come and drive that third team car for them, throughout the year at different racetracks. Like I said, just pays dividends not only for the data that they receive for that team and the feedback they get from a guy like that. Again, puts new eyes on the sport or different eyes on the sport, boosts those ratings, man, and help us build this sport back to what it was. So cool deal there. So getting into the next segment of the show, man, checkered flag for charity. If you guys came up this past weekend to either one of the concerts, you saw the Cooler Full of Joy from Miss Jamie Monroe. I tell you what, it is a dear friend of ours down on Tybee. We're doing some big things. Lawrence and the crew, I wasn't able to make it up. Lawrence and the crew raised a little bit over $600 for him, $700. So I think that brings the grand total with the checkered flag for charity bucket, $759 so far, and we're just getting started. So there again, I do want to say thank you to everybody that came out and donated in that. You don't know what it means to her and the help that we're generating for her financially, just to rebound from what she's gone through over the last month. So at the end of the day, big shout out to everybody, and big shout out to John and Adele Henderson as well for allowing us to use the platform to help there again another local family that's in a time of need. So like I always say, if you're interested in donating, doesn't matter what you got, pennies, nickels, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever it is you got, tell your waitress, your waiter, your bartender, hey, I want to donate into the checkered flag for charity. I mean, hell, if you see John and Adele walking in, just let them know. They'll make sure it gets to us, goes to the right place for sure. So we got some more stuff coming up. We'll get that a little bit later on in the show, but we do have some things planned up for this weekend as well. 24. I almost forgot. Lawrence had to remind me, man. $24. I forgot about that. The whole reason we do it. Whatever car number wins that race is what we donate. Anything under Christopher Bell is always a 20. Lucky enough, bam, 24. William Byron going in the bucket, man. So that brings that total up a little bit more too. And that's an awesome deal. So there we go, in there, baby. So before we get into that next segment, I do want to pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday out there. Cheers, y'all. So getting into it with the Arbor Man tree service, who's hot and who's not. Got to give my boy Parker Eccles, owner-operator over there at Arbor Man, a big shout out. Thanks for everything you do for us and the community, brother. But look, if you're in need of a tree service, hey, like I say all the time, Arbor Man's one of the best. You're going to see that number scrolling on the screen. I always like to say it, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's a limb, cutting back some limbs, full tree removal, stump grinding, whatever it is and whatever it may be, make sure you give Parker over there at Arbor Man a call. Like I said, locally owned and operated, insured. If you're unsure of what you need an estimate, man, call him up. He'll be more than happy to come by and take a look and give you that quote for sure. So again, like I said, you'll see that number scrolling all night long. Make sure you give Parker a call over there at Arbor Man. So I'll see you next weekend, brother. Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're going to be there large and in charge, man. We're ready for it. So getting into the who's hot and who's not, we'll start it out with the who's hot. This is a guy I said that I think is going to take a step backwards this year, which I haven't been proven right at all so far this young in the season. But I'm going to take the Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain, number 1. I think if you go back and look at the runs he's had from Daytona to now, he pretty much picked up where he left off last year. I mean, if you go back and look, the top 5 streak and top 10 streak he had at the beginning of the season was very hot. He has not skipped a beat. I thought that maybe we'd regress a little bit, have some of those finishes that aren't quite as good. Season's still young. It could happen. I don't think he makes the Final Four this year. I think maybe the round of 8 at the most. We're going to see what he can do, but right now he's sitting number 1 on that hot list, man. You better watch out. He's heating up and due for a win coming up sometime soon for sure. 2 on that list, I mentioned it early, William the Kid Byron. I mean, you got to love him, man. He's an awesome young talent over there at Hendrick. Such a, just good poised individual, never really gets upset. Handles his business very well, represents Hendrick Motorsports and all his sponsors very well. But look, came home with that win. Maybe didn't have the finishes in the first couple races. Daytona kind of got caught up in the mess. And then there again, going into California, just didn't have it. But I tell you what, he showed up to Las Vegas and had a rocket, man. So at the end of the day, got to put him in that hot list as well. I think Rudy Fugel and him have some big things coming. I think they're only gaining momentum from what they had last year. Again, I think you're going to see William Byron in victory lane multiple times like you did last year. I think everybody in the Hendrick camp is going to have multiple wins, to be honest. Even Chase missing 6 weeks. So don't get it twisted. I'm still taking over 5 wins for Chase Elliott, bro. I'm still taking 5 wins plus for him. So Daniel Suarez, man, makes the hot list, bro. If you look at it, I mean, top 10 finishes, back-to-back top 10 finishes. There again, that other team, the 99 team there at Trackhouse, has shown poise and kind of coming into his own. The consistency is the main key, I think, that we got to get under control with Daniel. Showing up week in and week out in that 99 car and being fast and getting those finishes. If we see that this year, watch out, man. He could take another win. I mean, he won Sonoma last year there. I think maybe, he could win at least another one this year, if not multiple races. I really feel that way. I think as long as they got fast cars and fast equipment, if he can put himself up towards the front, good pit stops, he can win. Hendrick Motorsports as a whole, come on, y'all. Y'all thought I was going to let it slide out. Hendrick Motorsports as a whole was hot, all right? Finishing 1, 2, 3 there at Las Vegas, come on, man. I mean, if Chase would have been there, I would have think they would have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, to be honest. Josh Berry had an off day, and you can't doubt the man or down the man for it. Stepping in from the Xfinity Series and something you're used to driving and finally sitting in the next-gen Cup car, that's a big task to go and drive. That is a night and day difference, the way it handles, the way it drives, the maneuverability about it, how fast everything is, and, the level of talent. I mean, it's just a deeper, talented field. So not knocking them hard there, but at the end of the day, Hendrick is looking good, man. I think a mile and a half this year, you better be watching out for Hendrick. They're bringing that thunder, man. So there again, be on the lookout for every single Hendrick car. That organization is warming up nicely at the beginning of the season. So we're going to get into that who's not, and number 1 on the who's not list is Denny Hamlin. All right, and it's not for the racing aspect. It's like this dude has a horseshoe stuck in his ass, a lucky horseshoe, man. How the hell are you worth millions of dollars? You're a professional athlete. You're a co-owner of a team with Michael Jordan, and you damn win some Powerball money, man. Come on, man. This shit shouldn't happen. It honestly just shouldn't happen, but it did. So I gotta give Denny a little bit of hell, but that's why he's on the cold list, man. So Logano makes the cold list. Driver of the 22 Penske Ford, man, and there again, Lawrence is throwing it up. I don't want to hear it, man. At the end of the day, it's like this. I talked a little bit about it earlier, crying about getting fenced and this and that. Keselowski did not fence him. You go back and watch that video. Keselowski owned it. He held his line. He might have come up a little bit, but he held his line a lot better than Joey did. And I tell you what, I don't know where Joey thought he was going to fit the car the racetrack getting owned, you don't, just because you get or think you're getting ready to get your nose in there doesn't mean you own that spot, right? And Keselowski's racing his own race. He's not going to give that up to you. So at the end of the day, to quote unquote use the word "we got fenced" or "I got fenced," I think he chose wrong verbiage there. Again, all you got to do is lift. You were clearly a lot faster, had a run. Lift, man, within 2 to 3 laps, you're going to gain both those spots probably. And you might have had a better race than what you did of sliding across the infield and getting a little air and ruining your day. I mean, you got to think bigger picture, you know. Champions should know that. 2-time champion, and as many races as he's won should definitely know that. So Chase the Bulldog Elliott on the coal list, man, for being out 6 weeks. I tell you, I love him to death. It's my new favorite driver. As soon as Gordon retired and Elliott came over, I mean, that was my boy. Obviously, being from Georgia as well, you know, like I said, man, I hate it that he's out of the car. I think it hurts, obviously, you know, voted NASCAR's, you know, favorite driver for pretty much every year he's been in it, and it's probably going to be a lot more of them coming his way. But at the end of the day, it happens, right? I'm not going to down him for having fun. I'm not going to down him for doing something that he enjoyed doing and having some downtime for himself and enjoying it. But at the end of the day, man, it hurts. I miss seeing him out there this weekend. To be honest, I mean, I still watched the race, watched every lap of it, but I wasn't as into it as what I normally am because my guy's not out there. So at the end of the day, I'm going to continue to watch it. But Chase, I hope you get better, brother. Speedy recovery, man. Come back and kick their asses, dude. I mean, we know you're going to, man. Come back and, you know, let them know them Bulldogs hell, bro. So getting on into the next segment, man, the Las Vegas recap. And I tell you what, before we get any further, there again, I heard a lot of fans complaining about this race as well. I tell you what, man, you were not a fan if you complained about this Las Vegas race. There was a lot of on-track action, a lot of big runs, a lot of side-by-side racing, a lot of passing. Yeah, it got stretched out. That's what happens at mile and a half. That's what NASCAR racing is, right? So I'm going to leave it there. I complained enough about it last week. I'm going to leave it there. But anyways, William the Kid Byron brings home that checker for the 3rd time. Like I told you, man, I mean, hey, getting it done. I mean, he does some things, like I told you. Won Atlanta last year, was there to see that one as well. He's talented, man. He's really talented race car driver. I think a lot of people down him because of that sim racing and what he does. But at the end of the day, he put his butt in the seat, climbed the ranks really quick, showed his talent really quick, and he's showing exactly why he's there now. He's winning races, and that's what these guys hire you to do. That's what Hendrick hired him to do, is go out, run that car, and win some races. So at the end of the day, can't down him one bit. Gotta love it. Kyle Larson looked like he had it wrapped up. You know, Kyle the Martian, man. I like to call him that because I say talent's out of the world. Looked like he had it wrapped up there in that last stage. Byron winning stage 1, 2, and eventually 3 winning the race, so he did sweep it. But at the end of the day, like I said, Kyle Larson, man, looked like he had it wrapped. Had, I think, right around a 3-second, a little bit over 3-second lead before that last caution came out. And NASCAR kind of screwed him on that one. We'll get into that in just a minute, but kind of screwed him on that one. You know, the 24 beat the 5 off pit road there to kind of get that lane selection behind Truex, who stayed out on older tires. They all took 2, but Byron beat him off. The biggest question I had is why Larson didn't restart behind William Byron. I don't know why he thought that Truex was going to get that jump and, you know, kind of get out there, or he was going to get the push. I know Bowman was behind him, but to get that push, right? So didn't get the push, kind of stalled out when they went 3 wide, splitting Truex there, and that was all Byron needed. So I hate it for Kyle Larson. I mean, when asked after the race what was going through his head, he just said, "Damn." So I thought that was pretty funny. But hey, man, look, he finished 2nd, and that's good momentum headed into Phoenix. Good momentum headed into the rest of the season. So 5 car's been fast. We know he's going to win some races. We all know that. So there again, not the day I think that he probably had it planned, but 2nd place, hey, that's not too shabby. So like I said, the 10 of Eric Almirola brought that last caution out, and we're going to get into it a little bit later in the show of what I think about that caution and how they threw it. But at the end of the day, he brought it out, and that's what kind of cost the 5 the race, I think. Had that not happened, I don't think William Byron was going to track him down. There again, William had the car of the day, you know. I mean, like I said, winning stage 1 and 2. But at the end of the day, without that caution, I don't think he would have gained those 3 seconds back in 5 laps when it came out. Martin Truex Jr., like I said, played the odds and stayed out on older tires. You know, probably had a shot, at least gave him a shot at that win. I don't think he was going to hold up either way, but at least he gave his team a shot. Not a bad day for him, not a bad showing. I probably would have made the same call if I was a 19 team. I mean, they were fast all day long, had a pretty good long-run car there. And, you know, you're going for wins. You know, a win means everything. If you get that win, you're locked into the playoffs pretty much. And after going winless last season, you know, he's hungry. I mean, he said it at the beginning. He's pissed off. He's ready. He's mad. So, look, at the end of the day, great showing there out of the 19 Gibbs team. I look forward to him winning multiple races this year. I'm going to say at least 2 to 3. But Truex is on the right path, heating up. We're heading into some tracks and places he's had success here in just a few weeks. So, watch out. 19 could get a win before you know it. Justin Haley, got to give a big shout out to Justin Haley, man. I mean, wrapped it up, 31 car, brought it home, top 10, I want to say 6th. Brought a top 10 finish home, man. So that's a big run for that 31 car there again. Good pit stops all day long, kept himself, never lost really a lot of track position, drove himself back up through there, and hey, man, got a 6th place finish. So, young, talented kid. We know he's got that one win under his belt, the rain-shortened Daytona, summer race. But he's got to win, man, you know, so I think he's showing his talent now. There again, I think the consistency for the team has got to be there, not only from the driver aspect, but from the equipment and the pit stops. It's got to be well-rounded. So one of those guys I think we got to keep an eye on. Could be a sleeper when we go to a couple places later on in the year, maybe a restrictor plate, maybe a short track or something. But at the end of the day, keep your eye out there on the 31 of Justin Haley, man. Good, talented young kid for sure. So, as I said earlier, Hendrick Motorsports killed it 1, 2, 3. Had Chase been there, it probably would have been him winning the race and 2, 3, 4 with everybody else. But at the end of the day, Hendrick's top team, man. They're the top dogs, man. Until somebody knocks them off, I'm telling you, they are the top dogs. Chevrolet has got it going on this year. I'm telling you right now, they are not playing. They're going to win that manufacturer championship. Chase Elliott's coming back. He's winning the championship, and they're going to win a lot of races again over there in that Hendrick camp for sure. You heard it here, right here, Rubbing and Grubbing. You heard Atlanta man say it, man. So getting into that Phoenix preview. Now look, Phoenix is a very difficult track to talk about and to pick guys for, all right? So I am going to put that out there. Very unique, a little bit over a 1-mile track. It's got that dog leg they added in when they changed the reconfiguration. Restarts are crazy. They spread out 7 wide, diving in there, missing, you know, skipping that first turn really. Some guys stay in, some guys hit the apron. Man, it's just a wild race. So it's going to be interesting to see who brings the thunder. Chase Briscoe actually won this race last spring, which was odd. I had to actually go back and look at that. I didn't remember him winning this one, but I knew he had won. So good shout out to them. Can he repeat, man? Can Stuart Haas repeat? Can they put the 4 in victory lane at probably one of the most dominating racetracks for Kevin Harvick? Hadn't really had the success once they reconfigured. But I'm telling you what, with the career wins he's got there, and if they got a setup that fits his driving style and the feel he wants in that race car, better watch out for the 4 as well. So you got to tune in Sunday, see who does it at 2:30. Might be 3:30 our time, I'm not sure. 3:30 our time, 2:30 their time, hell, I don't know. It's out there anyways, man. But at the end of the day, tune in, we'll see who wins that race. So top 5, all right? And this is a tough list to make. This was a tough one for me this week, but I got this gut feeling. I'm going with it. I got him 1 on my list. I got him 1 in the game of skill. I'll be betting on him this weekend in the money line, and that's the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney caught some heat. Yeah, a Ford. Ryan Blaney caught some heat from Kyle Petty, of all people. Just pretty much talking about how he's underperformed in that equipment and throughout the last few years of his career. And I'm going to say this. I said it at the beginning of the year. I think Ryan Blaney is a really talented young race car driver, one of the best out there. I think that he's going to go out this year. I think he's a multi-time winner this year, not just an all-star race at Texas we saw last year. He's going to go out and win a couple point-paying races. The one thing I'm going to say to Kyle Petty is people are like, oh, well, it's the truth. Well, it's the truth depending on who you believe in what's truthful, right? If you want to believe Kyle Petty saying that he's underperformed in that car, then believe that. He's made the chase. He's made the playoffs. Okay, he's done some things. He's still a young driver. He's still getting it figured out, right? And I will say this. Ryan Blaney's got more talent in his big toe than what Kyle Petty ever had. I promise you that, okay? So at the end of the day, I'm taking Ryan Blaney number 1 on that list. Number 2 for me, William the Kid Byron. Might come as a surprise. Hadn't really had the success there at Phoenix, but look, they're fast right now. Once you get that ball rolling, the momentum going, hey, he might wheel off another one. I'll take him 2nd on the list this week. 3rd, Ross Chastain, Watermelon Man. Had a top 3 finish here, top 5 I know for sure in the spring. Didn't quite get that run there in the fall. Got into it with Elliott, kind of ruined Elliott's day, which, you know, I'm not a fan of, but racing stuff happens. So I got him 3rd on the list. He's been fast all year long. He showed up fast. They unload fast. Good pit stops. Ross Chastain could be busting that first watermelon this year on those checkered on the start-finish line here at Phoenix this weekend. So stay tuned on that one for sure. 4, Joey Logano. I think it goes said winning this in the fall to win that championship. The 22 team has it going on. They're always going to be solid, and I've had conversations with numerous people. Joey Logano is in his bread and butter years in NASCAR, okay? He's had plenty of time to get it figured out. 32 years old. Right now is when you're going to see him start winning a lot of races, if it's going to happen. I know that the sport has changed throughout those years. He's adapted with it. He's a really good race car driver. But look, I'm going to take him fourth. I'll definitely probably be betting on him as well this weekend. 5, I just mentioned him. There's a lot of guys I could have put in here. I got a really good feeling about it. I'll take Kevin Harvick, man. I'll take Kevin Harvick 5th. I know I left out Kyle Busch. Kyle Larson is another guy. Like I said, there's a lot of guys here that I probably could have put on this list that I feel probably have just as good a chance as these guys. But I'm going with my gut, man. I'm going the 4, right? I'm going 4, Kevin Harvick in the 5th place. I think there again, one of his best, if not his best racetrack throughout his career, and just the wins he's reeled off in Phoenix. I know he dominated 5 straight, 8 or 9 wins total in his career there in the Cup Series. It's just domination. So I think that Stewart is going to definitely give him good equipment to try to win a lot more races this year. And there again, I think that Kevin Harvick is hungry to go out on top. At least give it his best shot to make that Final Four and go out, sail out in the sunset, knowing, hey, I had a shot to win a championship in my retirement year. So I'll take him on the 5th place. Dark horses, guy I talked about top 10 back-to-back, Daniel Suarez, man. I'll take Daniel Suarez in that 99 camp. He looks strong. He's unloaded strong in every race this year. This could be the one that you see him get a win on an oval, on a mile track, or on a short track, or whatever you want to consider it. This could be that spot where he gets that win for sure. 45 of Tyler Reddick. I got to take him. Had a really good run here last year with RCR. I think that it's time for him to kind of let the cat out of the bag and quit having these bad runs and really showcase that talent we saw throughout last year. We did see him have quite a few bad runs here and there. But at the end of the day, we know he's got a lot of talent. He's got good equipment over there. That's a winning race car. I think 2311 is definitely going to put some eggs in the basket for him this year. So look out for Tyler Reddick. And another guy you got to look out for, Chris Buescher. We'll talk about it in just a couple minutes. We had him last week for a finish. Didn't quite get that day. Him and Suarez had a little on-track incident, kind of hit the wall, messed him up there. But Buescher, another guy that had some good runs last year at Phoenix. So, if things come right, little pit strategy, late caution, staying out, enough guys staying out, hey, man, maybe he'll come home victorious. So that's going to wrap it up for that preview and that top 5. We are getting into the next segment of the show, the money line, presented by Redfin Polarized Sunglasses. I tell you, whether you got money on the line or a wall hanger, make sure you see it clearly with the best polarized sunglass lens on the planet. These things are amazing. Italian frames. Carl Zeiss, I think, made lenses. Absolutely amazing. I have a pair I usually wear. I didn't bring them up here tonight. I totally forgot them at the house, but they are probably some of my favorite sunglasses I ever owned in my life. Whether you're in the woods or on the water, make sure you got those red fins, man. Living life, fins up. Hey, when you go check out their website, you go to find a pair you like, go to checkout, use code Rubbin'n'Grubbin15. Save 15% at checkout, man, just for dropping that code. But I do want to give a big shout out to Redfin, and thanks for everything you guys do. And as always, the crew here at Coach's Corner, we are definitely living life fins up, bro. So getting into that money line, like I said, man, we made a little bit of money this week. We actually hit the positives this week, made some units. We took William Byron for that win here on the sheet. Puts us at plus 565 on the year. So we're still doing pretty good. We were on fire. We had a couple down weeks, but we're definitely lighting it up. We're coming back strong this week at Phoenix. So just the opening odds, the way I looked at it, man, Blaney and Logano both are sitting there with some favorite odds, Larson as well. Depending on what the odds are come start of the race, we'll see where we go and which one of those guys we take, or if we take both of them or all three. Who knows? But we're going to see where we're at. So that's kind of something to look at. I think opening odds all had it at 8-1, which is pretty good on the guy that won it in the fall and the guy that finished second in the fall. That kind of helped block for him, I guess, if you will. I still think Ryan Blaney could have won that fall race. Looking a little bit deeper in the field, the 4, the 8, the 1, and the 19 all have like 10-1, 11-1 odds there too. Those are pretty good bets on some of those guys. I do not, doubt that we're going to take at least one of those out of those 4 guys for sure. Looking a little bit deeper, I tell you a good hit that I think is a sleeper this weekend is going to be Alex Bowman in that 48. His opening odds are like 30-1, which just blows my mind after a top 3. I know, if you go and look at it, he's had pretty decent start to the season. And there again, I think it's a young, talented kid that can go out and win every weekend at 30-1. If it's still floating around there come Sunday, we'll definitely be hopping on that one for sure. And there again, I think if you go even further back, there's another guy that's had speed all season long. Hadn't exactly got the finishes for sure that he probably deserves, but Brad Keselowski over there at RFK in that 6, you better watch out for them. They're going to win a race this year. You heard it here first. They're going to win a race somewhere. A plate race, an oval, they're going to win a race, man. So, like I said, you can always check out our social media. You can check it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Lawrence always posts exactly who we're betting on there for the week on the money line. We throw that up Sunday. So, like I said, if you haven't, follow us and make sure you see what we're doing. I think you even threw it up on coaches, didn't you, this past week? Or I don't know if you did or not. He might have. But anyways, you can always check it out for sure on Twitter, and you can always check it out on Facebook for sure. So getting right into that hard right turn sponsored by Lamar's Body Shop. Before we do, got to give a big shout out to Lamar. Hey, 35 plus years service in the Savannah area for auto collision. I mean, this is the best shop you can get your car repaired, period. Like I say, it doesn't matter if you need an estimate for insurance. It doesn't matter if you need a whole new paint job. You need work done. Make sure you go see Lamar, 2301 Skidaway Road. It's a hop, skip, and jumping away from coaches. So like I said, you can drop the car, Uber over here, eat some lunch, go back, get your car picked up. Hey, man, it's awesome, awesome place, awesome time. So, like I said, make sure you check it out. 2301 Skidaway Road, Lamar's Body Shop. Like I always say, hey, why settle for par? Go see Lamar, man. Love you, dude. Hey, so getting into this hard right turn, and this is kind of something that I talked about a little bit earlier, about the caution with Eric Almirola. So I like to call this NASCAR and cautions or no cautions, right? They get to choose, right? It's NASCAR Sandbox. We all know they're the ones they're the officials. Their tower radios down and tell those officials when to throw those yellow lights and wave that caution. I was not a fan of the one being called this weekend, and I didn't have a dog in the fight. It wasn't like Elliott was out front or in second and I needed a caution or you know, he was leading and didn't want the caution to come out. We saw it all day long there. We saw numerous guys get up into that wall. I will say Almirola got on it a little bit harder, but he kept going. He kept driving, man. He got right back up to speed. And with a guy like Kyle Larson, a 3-second lead basically evaporates because, hey, we need some drama. That's the way I felt about it. Hey, we need to tighten this back up. We need some late race drama. Let's throw the caution, right? I'm just not a fan of it. It goes back to the days of what people called phantom cautions, right? Where we'd have debris on the track, you know. You'd be at a mile and a half and Dale Sr. or Jeff Gordon be out front by 14 seconds and there's 8 cars on the lead lap and, hey, we need a caution, you know. So caution, you know, debris. And you go, where's the debris? The TV couldn't find it. Drivers are going, where's it at? Why we throw a caution? And look, I said it. It's NASCAR Sandbox, right? They get to make the rules. They get to decide when and where. I'm just not a fan of it. I think that one kind of got stolen from them. I think NASCAR stole a win away from Kyle Larson right there with that caution. Now, if that's the case, why didn't we throw the cautions 3 times earlier in the day when Logano would be the other one, but I mean, he spun through the grass. But Buescher got into it. Kyle Busch got into it. I mean, there's guys, if you want to go back and look, there's probably 5 or 6 guys that honestly got into the wall. So at the end of the Tyler Reddick is another one. At the end of the day, I just think it's something they really got to kind of keep control under. It didn't affect the race. He didn't spin out. He didn't hit another car. He definitely had enough time to either get clear and pull down or, like I said, get back up to speed, which he did. So to me, I'm just not a fan of it. I think that, the drama aspect of NASCAR comes naturally. Like if somebody spins out late in the race, and you need a caution, that's due, right? I mean, honestly, that's awesome. But I don't care if there's a 10-second gap from first to second and 10 seconds to third. If that's the way the race played out, that's the way the race played out. That's just how we need to let it finish. So hopefully NASCAR goes back and thinks twice about it before they do it again. I know it's all about ratings for them. They want more eyes on the sport. But as a true fan, as somebody that's watched it for, 33 years of my life, I'm just not a fan of it. I don't enjoy it. I think it's something that even if my guy was out there, in second and I needed that caution, of course I'm going to be praying for it. Of course I'm going to be happy that it came out, right? I'm going to be like, all right, I got a shot. My boy's got a shot to win. But at the end of the day, I think it takes a little bit more than slapping the wall pretty good to throw the caution. That's just my thoughts on it. So we'd love to hear what you guys think. Make sure you comment on the video, man. Let us know what you think about that, what NASCAR can do to change it. What do you think it was right or wrong? I mean, hey, I like some comments, man, so make sure you comment on that for sure. So that's going to wrap it up for the rubbing part. We are on to the grubbing. And one of the amazing things out of every amazing thing that's on this menu here at Coach's, the BLT, baby. I'm telling you, this is a loaded BLT sandwich. As always, we know what BLTs are, man, but look at that. Come on, man. like I said, if you haven't come up to Coaches yet and had some food, like I said, you're either locked up or under a rock, man. You got to come out to Coaches. It's right here in Thunderbolt. Great food, great times, great friends, great drinks. I mean, everything's great about Coaches, man. I absolutely love it. You know, I love John and Adele for absolutely giving me the platform to do it. But like I said, dude, if you guys don't come out, you're missing out. And like I said, the Soundgarden is on a whole nother level, man. So big shout out to the Coaches shows. Like I said, Coach Carl DeMasi with that DeMasi Sports Report, the man, the myth, the legend himself, keeping you up to date on everything prep sport in the Savannah area. High school basketball, football, baseball, golf, swimming, lacrosse, archery. I don't even know what all else they got out there, but Coach does, and he keeps you up to date. That is live right here from the Soundgarden every Saturday morning, 9 until. Usually it's about an hour-and-a-half show. Coach does a really good job. Got some young athletes, local athletes that like to pop on, and, you know, Coach does an interview with them. Some other guys that are out and about. I think he had the Savannah Bananas announcer a couple weeks ago, and, you know, just different guys everywhere that come on the show. So really cool local sports show. If you hadn't seen it, make sure you tune in again Saturday, 9 o'clock. Coach's Corner on the Soundgarden, baby. So getting close, man. First couple weeks in April, we're going to be out here with the 19th hole. Sean and Brent Herb, those boys are freaking amazing. Hilarious show. That is probably the most rowdiest show that happens up here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. They cut it loose from Thursday until Sunday, keeping you up to date on everything that's going on at the Masters, who they think is going to win it, throwing their own little twist on it. It's live right here at Henderson's Cabin. I mean, it's amazing. Atlanta, man, I'll be making a guest appearance on there, giving some picks. We'll see who else happens to pop up and get on. I'm going to watch a few weeks, probably the next 3 golf tournaments I'm going to watch, so I kind of got a good little feel of kind of who's hot and who's not. But I'm going to give some picks. I got to do better than what I did last year. I didn't do very good last year, right? I was 1 tournament off, but I'm coming for them this year. I'm picking a winner this year, man. So, but like I said, if you haven't, make sure you tune in. That is all during Masters Week starting Thursday. These boys get rowdy. It is an amazing, fun time. It's an awesome laugh. It's a great show. So make sure you tune in to the 19th hole coming up as well, man. So that's going to do it for us here on Rubbing and Grubbing tonight. I do want to say a big thank you again to everybody that came out to Coaches and donated into that cooler full of joy. We're going to have them running for Jamie here through probably mid to end of May. And then we're going to swap gears and kind of go on to our next adventure and see how much money we can raise for the next charitable event. But thanks again, y'all. Like I like to say, make sure you hug your loved ones, man. Tomorrow is not given. Give them a kiss. Spend as much time with them as you can. You never know what comes at you tomorrow. Got to live life one day at a time. And just take it as it comes. But make sure you hang out with your family, your friends. Tell them how much you love them. If there's somebody out there you know that's having some issues, you know, mentally, make sure you reach out, man, and ask them if they're doing all right. You know, get them somebody to talk to. You know, kind of give them a pick me up. You know, we never know what people are dealing with in their own minds, right? We come across as happy and go lucky sometimes, but on the inside we're really down and just need somebody to kind of pick us up. So make sure you check on everybody, man. Check on your friends, your loved ones, your coworkers. Do all that. Hey, and as always, man, y'all stay safe out there. Bam. Wash your hands, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.